Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. Welcome to December, Advent of Code Day 2. Welcome in. We have to get started because it's exactly, well, it's 7 minutes after the Day 2 problem has been released. So I'm going to jump right into it. Though I am going to show the chat really quick. But welcome in. Quite a few people watched my solving of Day 1's problem yesterday on YouTube. I do think it's because the part 2 problem was actually really hard. Oh, I mean, harder than usual. Hard for a Day 1 problem, which was unfortunate because I do think that it might have swayed some people into not participating into Advent of Code anymore. But it also gets a lot of people looking for solutions because this part 2 was so hard. But yeah, good to see everyone. We're gonna jump right in. Yeah, and also if you've already started solving it, no spoilers. And I might actually hide the chat to prevent you from giving me suggestions that will make it so that I can't use those specific kind of solutions. We'll see. We'll see in a second. And hey, Nick, welcome in. It's been a while. He says, I remember learning so much about coding from you years ago, and now I'm an AI engineer who is hired due to my contributions to open source. Wouldn't have been possible without you. Thank you for saying that, Nick. That's awesome. I feel like I hadn't seen you for a while, but yeah. All right, let's jump into it. Day 2. Here we go. If you don't know what this is, go watch the Day 1 video. I explain what all of this is. We're gonna jump right into it, and we're gonna go to Day 2. This is my first time reading the problem. You're gonna see me solve it live, and I am gonna hide the chat. Here we go. Day 2, cube conundrum. Let me do this. All right, Day 2. You're launched high into the atmosphere. The apex of your trajectory just barely reaches the surface of a large island floating in the sky. You gently land in a fluffy pile of leaves. It's quite cold, but you don't see much snow. An elf runs over to greet you. An elf explains that you've arrived at Snow Island and apologizes for the lack of snow. He'll be happy to explain the situation, but it's a bit of a walk, so you have some time. They don't get many visitors up here. Would you like to play a game in the meantime? As you walk, the elf shows you a small bag and some cubes, which are either red, green, or blue. Each time you play this game, he will hide a secret number of cubes of each color in the bag, and your goal is to figure out information about the number of cubes. Okay. Okay. I'm playing around with my scenes here. I think we'll just stick on this scene. It'll be easier to edit. To get information once a bag has been loaded with cubes, the elf will reach into the bag, grab a handful of random cubes, show them to you, and then put them back in the bag. He'll do this a few times per game. You play several games and record the information from each game, your puzzle input. Each game is listed with its ID number, like the 11 in game 11, colon, followed by a semicolon, separated list of subsets of cubes that were revealed from the bag, like 3 red, 5 green, 4 blue. For example, the record of a few games might look like this: 3 blue, 4 red, 2 green, 6 blue, 2 green, etc. for game 1, game 2, etc. Yeah. So this is just explaining what's happening here. The elf would first like to know which games would have been possible if the bag contained only 12 red cubes, 13 green cubes, and 14 blue cubes. In the example above, games 1, 2, and 5 would have been possible if the bag had been loaded with that configuration. However, game 3 would have been impossible because at one point the elf showed you 20 red cubes at once. Similarly, game 4 would have also been impossible because the elf showed you 15 blue cubes, and there are only at most 14 blue cubes. If you add up the IDs of the games that would have been possible, you get 8. Determine which games would have been possible. Okay, so I think to summarize what needs to happen here is we need to parse each line to determine how many of each color were drawn for each game, and compare that with the maximum amount of each. And if any one of them is over their corresponding maximum amount, that's an invalid game. That is the problem we are solving. Let's go. So I've got a day 2 folder in here. I'm going to create an example input file. We're going to throw this in here. I'm going to copy my code from day 1, which does the reading. I probably could create like a utils file at this point, but I'm not going to right now. So read in that example file. And so if we call, let's just say log part1 with example.txt, that's going to run this function, read in all of the lines, and then we can do something with the line. And essentially what we need to do right here is for every line, we need to parse it. So we're going to be looking at a line that looks like, let's just say we grab the first one as an example. We need to parse this line. So if we first separate it on a colon, that's and grab the right-hand side, then we can separate that by semicolons to get each each draw, and then we'll further parse it from there. So for the given line, I'm going to say split it on a colon space, and then grab the one to the right. And so that should grab the right-hand side. I guess, do we call these turns? Because these are like turns in the game. Sets, let's call these sets. So these are all of the sets. And if we further split that on semicolon, space, we're going to have each of the sets, and then for each of those, we could map it. That's going to give us the individual set as a string, and then we'll split that on a comma space, and that will give us each one. I'm just going to log this out to see if I've done anything weird, and let's see what we got. So for game 1, game 2, game 3. So all of our parsing, I think, looks good. Let's compare it really quick. 3 blue, 4 red, semicolon. 1 red, 2 green, 6 blue, semicolon, 2 green. Yeah, okay, so our parsing so far is good. And then for each one of those, for each one of these, so now that we have these, we could further map over those to get like a number and a color. Okay. It looks like we can hard code the maximum number of each. So let's just create like a little map here. We'll call this like max count. And we basically want to have the color map to the maximum amount. So there are 12 red, 13 green, 14 blue. And then for each one of these sets we have, so like 3 blue, 4 red, for each of those, we need to look at the 3 and then say, okay, we need to look at blue, is it less than that? And if it's true for all of them, then that game is valid. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to map to booleans of whether or not this specific set is valid. So this gives us the, what do we call these? Let's call these pools because we're pulling them out of the bag. So this is going to be an array that has 3 blue, 4 red inside of it. And then we want to return for each of those, is every one of them less than the max. So if we grab here, so if we say, we now need to split that on a space, which is going to give us the count and the color. So if we split that, we get count and color, like this. And we will want to know, is max count at that color less than or equal to the count, parsed as a number. And so because we did this map here, we should now have for game one, we should have an array that has true or false for each of the pools to say whether or not that was a valid game. So we have false, 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 false. Okay, this is not, that didn't work. Let's make sure we're getting the right color and count. Did I do that right? Yeah, count and then color. Okay, so 3 blue, 1 red, 2 green. And then max count has red, green, and blue. Did I do this wrong? No, I have this wrong. This needs to be greater than or equal to that count. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now for game one, every play was valid. Every play was valid there. The first play was invalid for play number 3. So if we look at play number 3, this is invalid because there were 20 red. And then if we look at the second to last play, I guess I'll look at my example input. The second to last play is invalid because we have 15 blue and there are only 14 maximum blue. So yeah, I think we've done it. So for every possible set, we determine whether or not it was valid, and then we need to find which one of these arrays, has all true values in it, because we need to make sure that they were all valid. So we have this resulting array of arrays that are true, right? Wait, what? I just have single arrays. What's happening here? Oh, because it's each line. Okay. And then from here, I want to return every play is true. Like that. Okay. So we should get true, true, false, false, true. So true, true, false, false, true. All right. We've done it. We've reduced it to here. Now, each one that is true, we take that game number and we have a total sum. So we're going to reduce that whole thing. We have the total sum. We have the game result, and then we have the index. I'm going to use the index as the game number. So we're going to return. So if result is true, then we want to return sum plus I plus 1, because index is 0 based. Otherwise, we just return sum. And we start the whole thing off at 0. All right. Let's see 8. I'm surprising myself at how I'm just getting it on the first try, but that seems to work. So we get to number 8. That seems right here. Let's do it here. If we look at our puzzle input, ideally, the game number is just always increments. Yeah, the game number always increments, so we don't have to worry about anything weird like the game ID. So I think we should be good. If I run my code through this, we should be good. Let's see. And then now we're going to run this on the actual input instead of the example. We're going to hope for a first try. So 2283 is our answer. Got it. All right, now for part 2. The elf says they've stopped producing snow because they aren't getting any water. He isn't sure why the water stopped. However, he can show you how to get to the water source to check it for yourself. Okay. As you continue your walk, the elf poses a second question. In each game you played, what is the fewest number of cubes of each color that could have been in the bag to make the game possible? I see. So, Yeah, we have to look at, I think what we have to do is we have to look at the maximum, I guess I'm thinking ahead here, but I think we have to find the maximum amount of any given color for all games played. And that's going to be the minimum amount to make it possible. In game one, the game can only have been played with as few as 4 red, 2 green, 6 blue cubes, etc. So if I'm thinking about this right, in order for the entire thing to be possible, we would have needed 20 red, 15 blue, and maybe 13 green. The power of a set of cubes is equal to the numbers of red, green, and blue cubes multiplied together. And the power of the minimum set of cubes in game 1 in 48 is 48. In games, okay, so never mind. It's not across each total game. It's across each individual. It's not across all total games. It's across each individual game. So, the power of the minimum set of cubes in game 1 is 48. In games 2 through 5, it was 12, 15, 60, 630, and 36. Respectively, adding up these 5 powers produces 2286. So for each game, find the minimum set of cubes that must have been present. What is the sum of the power of the sets? Okay, so now for each line, we need to find the maximum blue, maximum red, and maximum green. And then we find those values cubed. So let me make sure I have this right, because so like for line 1, it would have been the maximum blue was 6. So 6 cubed is... I don't know. I can't do math. 6 cubed is 216. Okay, the power of a set of cubes is equal to the number of red. Oh, no, you just multiply them together. Okay, never mind. So if we say there are 6 blue maximum, 2 green maximum, and 4 red maximum, we get 48. Okay, easy enough. And so that's the power of that line. And then we have to add them up. Okay. Yeah, this is way easier than yesterday. I can do this. This is easy. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy my part 1 function, rename it to part 2. And then right here, where we get the count and the color, we basically want to find the maximum of any given one. And for each game, now I think I'll just do this. No, each line requires a maximum. So I think what I need to do is each line gets a max count that we just store like right here. And everything starts off as 0. And then for each game, if max count at that color is less than or equal to that number, we overwrite it in our max counts here. So then we'll just say max count at that color equals that. And we can just do less than. So if the maximum one we've come across for that color is less than the current one, overwrite it. And then at the end of it all, we should have the max counts for that line. Yeah, we don't even need to map this. We just need to for each it. For each. Because then right here, for each given line, we should have our unique max count here. This is so much easier, right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? We'll do part 2. 426 134 2013 6. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's confirm. Let's confirm that we've gotten the maxes for each one. So game 1 could have been played if there was 4 red, 2 green, 6 blue. All right. Game 2 would have been 1 red, 3 green, 4 blue. All right. Game 3 would have been 20 red, 13 green, 6 blue. All right. 14 red, 3 green, 15 blue, 6, 3. Yeah. It's too easy. Okay, so now if we do want to, for any given line, we just need to return red times green times blue. So we've got 48, 12, 15, 60, 630, and 36. That's right. And then we just reduce it. We sum it? Yeah, we sum it. $22.86, $22.86. You know, now I'm actually mad at how hard yesterday was compared to this. I mean, I don't know. This was so much easier than yesterday. Done. All right. I'm crushing it now that I can do what I want. But yeah, we did it. And I guess I was like at max 20 minutes. GG's everyone. GG's. Wow. And what's up, Lakshman? Thanks for being here. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah, thanks for the claps, SQL Boardster. All right, here's the thing. If you all are participating, you should definitely join the Coding Garden leaderboard. Here, this is the leaderboard code. I'm curious to see. I bet Alka crushed this one. There's no way he took longer than me. If you want to join our leaderboard, that's the code. Let's see. Yeah. Alka crushed it. Hey, Alka. And we haven't seen Funny Boy in the chat, but he's still on our leaderboard. He was the first to finish. Cool. Yeah, you should. It's fun. It's fun to do. I mean, it basically gives you something to do every night, and keeps you sharp, and makes you feel good, right? Like I honestly, like, this felt so much better than yesterday because we just did it, right? Like we read the problem. There was nothing confusing about it. There were no gotchas. We just solved it, and that was fun. So what do we do now? I mean, it's been a while since I've done any sort of like other coding challenge or anything. Go to bed. Honestly, yeah. Honestly. What now? We could just chat. I could also let's do like a code Q&A if anybody has questions or anything like that. If you want to talk about code in general, do !ask. We'll chat. I'll answer your code questions maybe, or I might just leave. I don't know. I feel like my viewership bumped up because everyone was trying to see how to solve it, and now it's gone back down because like, oh, he solved it. That's it. That's all. I guess let me do a YouTube intro because I'm gonna upload this one to YouTube as well. So let's do that. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. Welcome to Advent of Code 2023 Day 2. In this video, you're going to see me attempt to solve the Day 2 problem. Spoiler, which you can probably already tell by the length of this video, it's actually much easier than yesterday. But yeah, in this video, I solved parts 1 and parts 2. In this video, I solved parts 1 and 2, so you can see how I do it. If you are solving it and working on Advent of Code, definitely leave a comment. Let me know how you solved it, if you did it differently, and enjoy the video. Right now, an outro. Hello again. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, that's it. That's it. That's all. Live edit. Um, I have to pull it into a video editor and like chop it up and stuff like that. But yeah, I was extremely surprised at the like the video that I uploaded last night got the most views in 24 hours, like almost ever. There's maybe the um second or third most popular video, and I think it's because so many people were like searching YouTube on how to solve part 2 because I had a big problem with it. My favorite Advent of Code puzzle so far. You mean like in the history of Advent of Code, or this year? Because this year there's only been 2, and this one was fun because I got to use a bunch of like reduces and everys, and I used a bunch of like higher order methods, so that one was pretty cool. But I mean, I can't remember the years, but there was one, yeah, including past. Maybe it was the first year I did it back in 2019. You were basically building a computer, like you were building like it was like you're building like a memory interpreter, almost like a compiler or something like that. Was this the one? Yeah, you have opcodes. Yeah. Yeah, this one was super fun. As you can see, like I haven't really gotten past like day 8 or so. I lose steam. I get busy in the month of December. Like I can't wake up at I can't stay awake till midnight anymore. I remember like watching Alka solve his, and then solving mine, and like we were bouncing ideas off of each other and stuff like that too. Yeah, this was a fun year for sure. Maybe worth speedrunning posting solutions. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I might end the stream so I can just go upload a YouTube video so that it can do it really well. Thanks for dropping in, Eric. Your name looks really familiar. Have I seen you here before? But yeah, this one was super fun. Have I played the Password game? That sounds familiar. Isn't that like a game show? What Password game? Lots of there's a lot of Erics. Oh, okay. I didn't want to assume, but I was like, yeah, all right. The literal creator of Advent of Code. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, I'm curious. So now that I have you here, Eric, I'm actually really curious about yesterday's problem. I mean, I guess you heard me kind of talking about it. Like, so many people had an issue with part 2 of yesterday. Did you do it on purpose? Because I kind of thought, I was like, all right, maybe it was devilish. Maybe they did it to kind of weed people out, or to prevent people from like using AI to solve the problems. Or maybe the play testers just didn't think it was as hard as everyone else thought it was. I don't know. Because regular expressions are probably one of the things that I need most work with. Like, there's so much I don't know about regular expressions. I ended up solving it with one, but I know for a lot of beginners, regular expressions are pretty tricky. Yeah. Okay. Gastrodia says, I want to ask how I think that AI will affect the web developers these days or in the future. Part 2 wasn't deliberately difficult. I have non-technical beta testers. Yeah, fascinating. Because it's like, I mean, maybe it's just the kind of coders that I'm seeing. But like, yeah, the people in my chat, the people in my Discord and my YouTube comments, and then I was watching the Primogen solve it this morning. And so many people in the chat were complaining about. Yeah, I feel like they overthought it. I think the thing that really caught people up was like the combination of the words, but I didn't run into that. I don't know if you saw how I solved it yesterday. It was the most convoluted thing ever. So I had one piece of code that found the first occurrence from the left, and that was just like a pretty general, easy, regular expression. And then I literally reversed the input and reversed my regular expression to find the first one from the end. So I didn't run into the issue where like people were replacing 2 and then they missed the 1. So I kind of got lucky with how convoluted my solution was. Yeah, it's fascinating. But the thing is, yesterday someone in the chat suggested, they were like, "Oh, well, why don't you just replace all of the numbers with, or the words with their numbers?" And I was like, now I feel like it's cheating if I use your suggestion. That's why I hid the chat today. But yeah. Okay, I guess if we're going to talk about AI, I think the short answer of it is most developers' jobs, their day-to-day jobs, I do think will change in the coming years. But I don't think their jobs are going to go away. I think a lot of what we do will start to be like AI output validators, at least with the forms of AI code generation that we have today, because it's pretty good at like fairly simple problems. But once things start to get more complicated, it doesn't do as well. And a lot of times the code will look correct, but then there's like slight little things that are wrong in it. And that's what I've come across when I've tried to use like GitHub Copilot and ChatGPT to solve things. It's like it gets me most of the way, and then I spend a bunch of time debugging like the one little thing that it got wrong. So, but I do think going forward, one of the main jobs will be like AI output validators. Like we'll use AI to generate things, but then we'll have experts that can make sure that what was generated is actually correct and actually works in the right way. So that's how I think it will affect things. I do think that like less technical jobs will go away because it'll be easier for one person to do more things more quickly with like AI generated output, but that's where I think things are going. Yeah. Just got to part 2 for day 1. I was off by 2 because I didn't have a new line character at the very end of the input. You always have to be careful with that. So basically, every time I copy in my output, I always remove the last line. Because yeah, that'll get you. You can go one of 2 ways: have a new line or don't have a new line. My favorite is the people who did a replacement. Oh yeah, so I was thinking of so the overlaps work. Well, what I was thinking of is like if I would have solved it that way, I think I would have come up with every combination of number words smacked together, and then just put that into my regular expression, right? So 21 becomes 21. In my regular expression replacer. And then that replacer comes before the 2 or the 1 replacer. I think that's how I would have done it if I did it that way. Does sending cheer bits message have a limit? No. Are you trying to give me money, Lakshman? You can send as many bits as you want. Yeah. Am I missing a message here? I think I'm way behind. Yeah. And what's up, Epsilon? Welcome in. Buddy's Pizza says, I finished the problem a few minutes ago, and honestly, I'm a little upset that the global leaderboard only cares about the first 100 people to solve the problems. Any suggestions on how I can ask the devs for a bigger leaderboard? Just join a private leaderboard. I mean, that's what I do. Like, I already know that I can't compete. Where is it here? I can't compete with the top 100 people. Like, there's no way. Like, a lot of the people that are in the top 100 do these kinds of things on a daily basis. So it's almost like their job, and they've solved previous years, and they have like little helper libraries ready to go for like common tasks so they don't have to write it from scratch. Like yesterday, there was a lot of like, for me, there was a lot of like reversing of strings. I didn't even write a helper function. I manually reversed it every single time. I guarantee you most of the people in the top 100 have like a helper utils library that the moment they need to do something, they don't even have to write the extra code to do it. So yeah, I would say don't compete on this leaderboard. Join a private leaderboard. So we have the Coding Garden leaderboard here, and I mean it's my own leaderboard, but I'm in 5th place. I'm happy with that. But basically, there's a private leaderboard code, and then anybody that wants to join my leaderboard can. And then we just compete with each other. So I prefer to compete with people that are more at my level than like the top 100 in the world. So I'm sure if you search around for other coding communities, I'm sure that they have leaderboards that you can try to participate on. Also, like if you maybe if you're in school or something like that, you can create a leaderboard for you and your classmates, and then just compete against them. Or spend all year practicing and become a competitive coder to get in the top 100. Buddy's Pizza says they're number 4 on mine. Let's see. Um, nice, nice. Not even the top 1,000. Tiny mistake in my regex. Yeah. Oh no! Wait. Okay. What is the mistake in the regex? One or more digit? Let's look at today's problem. Can I find the mistake in the regular expression? Game. Digit plus. Oh, the parentheses should have been on the other side of the plus sign, right? Because otherwise you get multiple groups of single digits. And what's up, Brom? Welcome in. Lakshman, thank you for the bits. I don't know if my notifications are working. Who said, I had a big message, but if this gets, then I will send the message in chat. Oh, thank you, Lakshman. Yeah, feel free to send your message. I'll read it. Yeah. Okay. So actually, for anybody that's new to my stream, honestly, Lakshman is legendary because so I used to do a thing where people could redeem code reviews, and Lakshman was learning to code, but they were learning to code on their cell phone, and so they submitted some code that they had written on their phone. I forget, was it like a tic-tac-toe game or something like that? But yeah, let me read your message. But no, you should not be ashamed of back then. Everybody starts there. I mean, and especially the fact that you were coding on a phone without a keyboard, like literally like a phone keyboard, that was crazy. But yeah, I was just seeing the code review from a few days back. I felt so stupid for myself of how I used to be with such difficulties in communication. Also, you continued the stream. I'm really grateful for those two streams. Thanks a lot for the reviews. I want to let you know that all those mini game developments and your suggestions, I participated in JS 13K games in 2023 and got in 72nd place out of 215 entries. Nice! Top 100. That's awesome. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I think for most people that watched those streams, it was super encouraging and also to see how much you had improved, because the first time you came on, there was like lots of code repetition and you could tell like you were brand new, but you wanted to build something. And then but I gave you lots of tips. And then the second time you came on, like the code was so much better and you had improved so much. So yeah, that was a fun one. But yeah, thank you, Lakshman. Thanks for being here. And oh yeah, and that's the other part of the story is after that, I was like, you're coding on your phone. I want to get you a keyboard. So I figured out how to get Lakshman a Bluetooth keyboard. I think I got them a gift card for like one of the tech stores near them, and they went with their dad and picked up a Bluetooth keyboard. But yeah, he was saying he still uses it in his office, which is awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Lakshman, thank you for being here. That's awesome. Eric says, I was just on a podcast where I talk a bunch about how different the skill set is for competition programming versus software engineering. Yeah. I'll take a listen to that, because I mean, I think that's the other interesting thing about our industry as well, is like for people that are searching for jobs, there's such a huge focus on leak code, which is similar to this, right? It's like isolated problems where you're either trying to do them really fast or you care a ton about like performance or memory. And that's so different from like building software. It uses the same skills in a way because you're problem solving and things like that, but to be this good is a completely different set of skills than to be like a really good senior software engineer employed at a big company. The skills can overlap, and I do think some of the people at the top of the leaderboard are also good software engineers, but it's a separate skill set for sure. Yeah, I'll check that out. Sequel Worcester says, I'm deep into regex look ahead and consumption again. Hope I can get day 2 before too late tomorrow. Yeah, I saw your solution in the Discord, and like I said, I've never used a regex look ahead before, so yeah. no worries, Epsilon. If you continue to show up and hang out in the coding garden, you're more than welcome to be on our leaderboard. Yeah, I think my notifications are just broken. I need to do a stream next week where I fix all of my overlays and everything, because I'm pretty sure my emote parsing for 7TV is broken. There's like one other broken thing, and then apparently my notifications aren't showing up, so I need to fix that. Oh, the print inside only matches the last digit. Wow. Mocker says, I like writing pretty printing code to match the sample outputs in later days. Often a fun challenge. Nice. Yeah. Cool. All right. I do think I'm going to go. This was fun, though. And Eric showed up. Thanks for dropping in, Eric. But yeah, I'm going to head out. We'll raid someone, potentially someone else that's working on Advent of Code. And I'll see you next week. Like I said, I'm probably going to try to do like a Monday or Tuesday stream. Where we just work on overlays, kind of just have like a chill stream, because there's a lot of broken stuff that I need to fix. But check out the calendar. I'll put it on the calendar for next week, and then also join my mailing list. The command is broken for some reason, but here, go here, join my mailing list. I send out go live notifications. And we also have a Discord if you want to come chat over there. We have a specific Advent of Code channel where you can share your solutions or ask for help. But I'll show it to you right now, because we also require that people use the spoiler tag. So you can submit your solution, and if you just go browse that channel, you're not going to immediately see the solutions unless you click past the spoiler. Yeah. So if you join our Discord, you can share your solutions here. You can see this is yesterday's, and quite a few people have shared theirs in the Discord over there. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.